everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. This is part three of a 4-part series on the Kimberbear. And this is what we're going to be talking about today is the head. We're going to talk about attaching the muzzle, making the muzzle, and attaching it to the headpiece. So to get started with, I first want to thank my husband because we are on quarantine as well. And so you are in my dining room right now. And he is filming for me, so I appreciate that. We want to thank our sponsors. There's Kimberbell, Shannon Fabrics, Clover, and Fairfield. Fairfield brought us this polyfill. We really appreciate that. As well as Clover brought these 2 tools, and these are great tools to have. If you'll watch part 1, you'll see about the bodkin as well as part 4, and I will show you what we would use that for. And we've used this throughout, I think, every single step of the way. This is a great 2-point turner, and it's got some great unique features that I love about that. Very last, I want to thank Shannon Fabrics. They've got this wonderful Luxe Cuddle and Cuddle soft fabric. I just love it. It's called Cuddle, and there's a Cuddle Luxe. There are 2 different types, but super, super soft. As well as Kim. Thank you, Kim, for a beautiful design of our Kimberbear. Okay, let's get started with the muzzle first. So the next step is a muzzle, and it's a really quick stitch out as well. You first will take your fabric you'll first stitch it out, the outline, then you'll lay your fabric down with the nap side going in the correct direction, which is down. You'll add this water-soluble topping, which we talked about in part 2, and then it's going to stitch your mouth. It's going to stitch it down first, and then you can stitch out the mouth. And how cute. This is just turning out so fun. So cute. I love it. And it will also stitch a placement line. And then I've placed my nose fabric. Now, I've used just a really thin nap, so this isn't going to catch in my sewing machine. It's already gone around it, but it's left an opening. The reason there's an opening is because you're going to fold this back, and then you're going to take, I love this turner for this very purpose, a little tiny piece of polyfill. And I just simply take this and tuck that polyfill in the that little nose part right there. Let's see if I can get it started. There we go. And it just tucks it right in there for me. Okay, so once I get that in, and I'm going to give it a little poke with the side right there. All right. Then I'm going to make sure that it's in all the way. I'm going to tape this down right here on this side, on the top, and put it back in the sewing machine, and it's going to stitch all the way around, keeping that nice polyfill right inside it. It makes a nice little nose right there on the bear. Then you will trim around your nose piece right there, and it's going to do a decorative stitch. And that's what it's going to look like. It'll look like just like this. And then when you pull it out of the hoop, you're going to trim this, and you can trim this about 1/4 of an inch away, all the way around the outside edge, but please leave the water-soluble topping in place. So that's your muzzle, and that really only takes a few minutes to stitch that out. All right, the very last stitch out is the face, and we're going to use the muzzle on the face. So to start with, you will do the same thing. You will stitch out your stitch out on your stabilizer, as well as then you'll lay your fabric right side up with the nap going down, your water-soluble topping, and it will tack that down on the outside. It'll make the ears as well as the face. It's going to stitch out the eyes for the bear, and then it's going to stitch this muzzle piece, and then I have torn out the stabilizer from the inside, just because I don't want that stabilizer left in my project. And it also stitches a nose, and I know the nose is a little trickier to see right here because it's in among that really soft minky, but there's some of it right there. So what we're gonna do is take my muzzle piece that I've already made, and it's going to be a lot bigger than what it's going to turn out because this is like an applique piece, and most of your applique pieces are bigger so that you have something to grab a hold and trim. So what we're going to do on the back side, I used blue bobbin thread just so you would be able to see this for my demonstration. But I'm going to show you right here. You are going to match up this nose right here with your nose stitched out right there. So I'm going to find right where those stitches are, and I'm going to line up the nose. The nose is the important part to line up right there. And then I simply tape that in place. And then it's going to actually stitch right here, right where I pulled that plastic out right underneath. It's going to stitch that same size of the muzzle a few times around to tack it down. You'll trim the excess muzzle piece off, and then it will do a decorative stitch. Then you're ready to pull all these other water-soluble topping pieces off. You're going to add your last piece, and of course check the nap. Yep, there's the nap, and then you'll place that face down and it'll do the final stitch out. And then your head and all of your parts, body parts for the bear are ready to sew together. I also wanted to mention, make sure you're using a lightweight stabilizer, a lightweight cutaway. We use no-show mesh in this for this bear. Thank you so much for joining us with part 3. Bye-bye.